Hey everybody, it's Tammy Langowski, Intuitive Advisor to your questions on Tammy's channel chats. Thanks for viewing. So I have a question from a dear client that I think is really fun and interesting. So the question is that she would just like a channeled response to, so that's what I'm doing here. The question is, I'm going to read it here from my phone. So sometimes she says nice things to her car or the stove or some other object. So sometimes not so nice too. I can understand that, especially if it's something that's not working appropriately or right for you, right? So she says, mostly I'm kind when I speak because I believe it matters, even to objects, AKA matter, which includes air, okay, meaning matter, scientific matter, which includes air. Okay, I wonder if the inanimate objects around us hear the things that we say to them and if they also respond. What is their reaction to our words, if there is one? So this is an interesting question because Lordy knows that when I was young, I talked to my stuffed animals all the time and they were always he's. I don't know why. As many of us had, things like that, and I named them all, and it's, again, many of us did when we were kids. I had a favorite named Fred, the turtle, loved him, got him with my S&H green stamps, for those of you that remember that. So I was very proud of my Fred turtle. But boy, did I talk to them all the time. So it's going to be an interesting, to hear what our guides have to say. So if I'm opening up to that, guides, what about inanimate objects? Like, do they hear if we speak to our car, and we even give it a name, or we talk to it or something, if we're in the car, like, oh, come on, so and so, whatever the name is, right, let's get going, and things like that. Does the car understand it, first of all? Okay, what they're telling me is kind of a yes, only because there's an energy that responds. It's very connected. What they showed me is it goes back to you. It's sort of what energy you put into it. So we would say that although it is not maybe to the extreme or to the level that you're thinking, there is a reflection back. So you see whatever, again, you're putting. Okay, I know I'm going all across everything because I'm getting it all differently. I've got different feelings coming in with this. So I'll try to best explain what I'm getting. Okay, so if you're putting like a certain energy into, let's say it's a car, okay, then that car then has an energy that's held to it. So this is interesting to me because we know that crystals do that. Our guides often say that, what you put into the crystals, and then the crystals will amp their energy and their makeup. I don't know the scientific terms, but all the things that are in the crystal amplify back pretty much what your intention is. That's why crystals are so powerful, and they're really a lot of fun and so forth. And those do talk to me because they do hold a lot of the energy, I believe. So an inanimate object does absorb your energy to a degree of what you're putting into it. Does it hear you, so to speak? No, not in the way that we're thinking. So it's they're showing me the word dead or dull, it's not the same as, let's say, like a crystal might be. Some might think of a crystal who don't know much about crystals might think they're inanimate objects. Not many people probably think that, but just as an example. But let's say it's your car, and you're talking to your car. There was an essence that you put into the car. I'm going to say pretty much kind of, they started out with sort of a yes, only because of what you put in, but two more of your question, I think it's more of a no. So do they respond? Do they hear? Because this really is a good question. So do they hear, do they hear us hear or do they hear the things that we say to them, first of all? No, not in the way that you think. Not in the way that you think. So no, an inanimate object is an inanimate object. There is an energy to it, but it's attached to your energy. Okay, that kind of makes sense to me, but not in a sense that it necessarily hears us in that way. And then, and also if they respond. No, I'm getting no. Basically, I'm getting no. So what is their, I'll just ask all the questions you're asking because it's a good question. So what is their reaction to our words if there is one. It's interesting. They show me there's no real reaction. There's only this like pulsating energy of somehow that it's attached to you and what it is. So I would go back to what you were saying, though, that speaking nicely to everything can only put out a good energy, right? So maybe, okay, so we'll pose that directly to our guide. So if you talk nicely, let's say to your car, will that have a better effect than if you're speaking negatively? Yes, because you see what you're putting out comes back to you. Bingo, there we go. So you're more likely to get a better drive maybe out of your car if you're speaking kindly to it, because then you're setting an intention. So they said it's really about you. It's not about the inanimate object in this case. So guides, when I was talking to my stuffed animals, so what they showed me is that no, those inanimate objects were not responding to you, but they're showing me how all of my, as would be for all of us, our elemental friends and so forth are there dancing around having fun because it's that playful creative energy that they love. So I just wanted to ask about that, and we go back to that. I'm wondering the same thing. So basically I'm getting, I would say, more of a no, but I hope you understand how we started out with that there's an essence with it, but I think it has a lot to do with what your thoughts are and what you're putting, what energy you put on it. So certainly it doesn't hurt to love your car. Now, many of you have named your cars, and I think that's cool. So I think that's a real positive energy. Why not? Why not put a positive energy? It's certainly better than a negative thought, right? Many of us, might have tapped on something like, well, come on, baby, do better than that. Don't run out of gas, or don't, let's start, or whatever it might be. Well, that's just putting out an SOS also to, they said, all of us who might be helping you with that. So I hope that answers that question for you. So I grabbed some inanimate object here, a hair clip. Whoops, put it where you can see it. Okay, just a hair clip, average hair clip. I don't have any, real feel. In fact, I don't wear it that often. I don't want to hurt his feelings, but I don't think his feelings are hurt now after what they've said. Okay, so is it, if I talk to it and say, hi, hair clip, I'm getting from my guides, it doesn't respond. Yeah, it's neutral. Now, if I loved this hair clip, guides, if I always, oh my gosh, I love this hair clip. It was like the best, it's the best ever. And I love it, wear it every day, whatever it might be. Well, then in a sense, well, very little loves you back. So there's an essence, but I'm going to say to that fabulous question that no, they really don't. From what I am getting, I'm not getting anything to that, like in the way that you're asking the question. But at the same time, I'm thinking anything that you put love into and positive energy into, well, you just might get some positive response, but I'm not sure it's coming from the inanimate object. It may be all your helpers in spirit that are helping with something, if that makes sense. So again, I think ideas of matter, like air, like you said, air, yeah, right away they said it's something you breathe, make it positive. Talk to the air in a positive way. It's part of the elements. It's part of something that's very real. Now it is said, and I've heard other, I don't know, intuitives or whoever they are say that, that there is essence in every inanimate object. I have heard that. And again, I'm going to say it's more to what you put into that inanimate object, because really the idea is everything is illusion here on the planet. All these solid surfaces you feel are your illusion of your expectations. I'm putting it that way. There may be others that would watch this and beg to differ on that, but that's kind of what I'm getting for that. Okay. So anyway, that was a really, really good question. So thank you for that. Okay. So let me just see if there's anything. Hope I answered that for you enough. And, remember any general questions you've got like that are just, things you think about. And that was a great one, right? You just kind of ponder about it. I wonder, think about, I wonder. You could even start a sentence with, I wonder, and see what drops into your mind, because those make for good questions that we can ask about from an intuitive perspective and check in with my guides, which is kind of fun. So let me just see if there's anything else in closing that they want or would like to share with you right now. So basic, I love it. They just said, you are so loved. And every one of you has spirit guides. All of you have spirit guides. Every human being does have a spirit guide, no matter what level they are learning or what level they're at on the earth plane, we'll say. Even those that are very, we would consider we would not want to be around for various reasons, they do have spirit guides that are with them on their journey. Tap into us, show us what you got, tell us that you would love to make the connection. We are there with you anyway, but when we can have that connection with you, well, they're just pausing even just like that. There's so much that can be had from that union. And we look forward to having that union and that connection with you in a more conscious way for yourself, so that you will be more aware of our messages and the signs that are given to you. Be good to yourself. You're deserving of good things. You are deserving of good things. Practice that as an affirmation, their suggestion to you. Okay. All right. Well, thank you again for tuning in and the great question, dear friend. And we look forward to answering some more for you when you are ready to do that and want to send in something for us. Okay. So take care and have a great week or whatever it might be till next time. And we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye for now.